Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Earlier today in Brazil, in the capital of Brazil, Brasilia, a number of people, rioters, protesters, invaders, insurrectionists, however you want to call them, some Brazilians entered the building of the Supreme Court and Congress unauthorized, storming those buildings. Now, storming did not mean fire or anything like that. They enter in, and it's uncertain yet what exactly they want. What we are told by the media is that these guys protest the outcome of the last month's how do you call it, presidential election in Brazil or so, or last year's, the latest, where Bolsonaro lost and Lula da Silva won. So the right wing one lost, the left wing one won. I don't want to say the far right versus far left, because technically that's how we go, but the mass media just points out that Bolsonaro is the far right and Lula somehow is just a leftist when he's a communist 100%. But anyway, his party's name is Workers' Party, and he was with the communists in cahoots all his life. But anyway, I will call them the way I want to call them, because I'm not going to be regimented by some idiots just because they say so. I look at the facts, and the facts indicate that one is a right-winger and the other one is a left-winger. How left and how right? I would definitely say that Lula is a really leftist towards the communist, and the other is a far, I don't know, far, but I don't know how far I could put him. He's not a centrist either, but I don't think he's not a far right, because if he would be a far right, he would talk much differently. So he's not. Anyway, and he's not walking around with certain kind of people, as Lula did all his life. Communist I'm talking about, okay? So anyway, and by the way, former President Trump is not one of those guys, if you think of him being his friend. Anyway, what happened over there is, in Brazil, is that it seems like some forces, some police forces intervened to stop the protesters or the invaders or rioters, but some did not. And as I said before, this is not an insurrection unless you have the military involved. Why? Because without the military you don't do anything. You can do everything you want, hanky-panky, and occupy whatever building you want. If the military wants you out, they get you out in 15 minutes. I mean, they take you out dead or alive, if you know what I mean. They give you a warning, and then it's enough for them to release a few shots, and I guarantee you the Brazilians will just get the fuck out. Otherwise, they're gonna pick them up after they probably shoot them. It happened before, so I'm not fantasizing here. Maybe not in Brazil, but it happened in other areas. And as I said, if you don't have the military, insurrection, or at least some departments with guns, if you know what I mean. Now, in this case, in an article, I found that about 400 people were already arrested by the Brazilian authorities, and Lula, I've been waiting for him to decree a kind of state of emergency, as it was in February 1933 during the Reichstag fire, if you remember that one. Hitler decreed, the suspension of political process, parties, certain rights were limited. We are attacked, we have to defend ourselves from our enemies within, which he pointed out they are the communists. Now, the thing is, seems to be the other way around, where the communists say is the other guys that we are under attack. Anyway, order must be restored and will be restored unless military brass has a different allegiance. If they have a different allegiance, then Lula is gone and Brazil is going to be a military, under military occupation for a while. I don't know, we'll find out. Now, I have two articles here, one coming from Bloomberg and the other one from some guys from Russia. I will let you know later. I will start with the one in Bloomberg. And it says that Lula decrees intervention in Brazil's capital to contain rioters. Decrease intervention, that means go and take care of it, which definitely should be done because it's an unlawful act. It's not unlawful gathering, and however you want to call it. You don't, by trespassing. I don't know if the rioters blew anything up or, endangered anybody. Now we find out here that President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva decreed an intervention in Brazil's federal district on Sunday to contain protesters who stormed Congress, the Supreme Court, and the presidential palace. Now, what do you mean by decreed an intervention? By whom? By forces or by military? Or both. I don't know. Order must be restored. People should do their job. President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva decreed that. Okay, Lula, who was inaugurated on January 1st, pledged to bring the rioters to justice. Good. And also said he would investigate who was behind financing the protests. Lula also said, now this, pay attention, and compare and contrast this with other countries. Okay? Lula also said that police who failed to confront the protesters would be punished. Sounds familiar? Do you remember the something happened, I think, in the United States of America here on January 6th sometime 2 years ago or something? Do you remember punishment of police officers who... I don't remember. On the contrary, I know that they were the heroes, which, anyway, I know that I'm not going to talk about it. Let's put it this way, because it's too much freedom of speech. So the other article comes from Russia Today. Hello, my little friend. So from January 8th, both articles on Bloomberg and Russia Today. See, I'm trying to balance the liars. Left liars, right liars, or left-leaning, right-leaning, whatever. Lula orders federal intervention against rioters. The newly inaugurated Brazilian president has declared a state of emergency. So far, so good. It's on Hitler's roadmap. After former leader's supporters overran a government building. Well, I don't know if they're supporters or not. Maybe yes, maybe no. We'll find out. Brazilian President Luiz has declared a state of emergency in the federal district of Brasilia after thousands of supporters of his right-wing predecessor, Bolsonaro, overran Congress, the Supreme Court, and the presidential Planalto Palace. Now, you don't know if those are his supporters or not, and there's, again, right-wing, and there are supporters. You don't know how many of them are and how many they are not, so I shouldn't even put that over there. But hey, it's already spoken among the guys over there who they should blame already. Now, the leftist leader, not the right... See, the other one is the right-wing predecessor. Now, this is just a leftist leader, not a, anyway, leftist, right-wing, that's okay. It's not far-right yet. So this is not a left, far-left yet. Inaugurated just last week, gave the order on Sunday appointing Justice Minister Ricardo Garcia Capelli to lead the federal intervention. Lula's order gives Capelli the power to ask both civil and military bodies for the necessary means to achieve the object of the intervention. So, okay, got it? So this guy Capelli has the power to ask the military and the police for whatever support he needs to take care of with the rioters. Good so far? Good so far. See if you can contain the military, because sometimes you invite the Trojan horse in your little, Troy, and then you get the scope of the order, which explains at the end of the month, expires at the end of the month, is limited to Brasilia's federal district, and its stated aim is to, quoting, end the serious compromising of public order in the state, in the federal district, marked by acts of violence and invasion of public buildings. Good so far? Good so far. To achieve that goal, Capelli may call upon, and I'm calling, the financial, technological, structural, and human resources of the federal district, end quote, including but not limited to the military and police as needed. All right? Now, Mr. Lula da Silva said that he pledged to get the bottom of who are the financiers of the swarm of protesters. He denounced the demonstrators as, and I'm quoting, vandals and fascists. Why not communists? How do you know they're fascists? Because the communists are the good ones? Okay. Blaming Bolsonaro for filling the heads with extremism. Well, what do you want? Freedom of speech, I think, should not be infringed. It's, it's like, I get obese because I McDonald's commercials or something? Is that how it is? And I sue McDonald's because they made commercial all the time that McDonald's is good and fantastic, and I'm fat and I'm getting all kinds of diseases because McDonald's commercials. I think as an adult it's my duty to protect my integrity and pick and choose. And my actions. I mean, if these guys tell you that, if someone tells you, hey, do this, you're gonna do it? Well, I mean, I don't think of Bolsonaro, and I'm not trying to defend Bolsonaro, but I'm trying to defend us here, because this could be applied everywhere, and I don't like that. Now, thinking is not a crime. Actions that are illegal, written in the law, those are crimes, okay? Let's make that certain, that I can have whatever ideas I want in my head, as long as I don't act upon those and commit a crime. Then I'm, I could be indicted and so on. But until then, I can have whatever opinions I have, and I can listen to whomever I want, and I can agree with whomever I want, and I can disagree with whomever I want, and I can deny whatever I want, how stupid that could be. That's my right. I can deny that this is a phone. I can deny that, let's say, the Second World War ended. So, are you going to arrest me for that? Anyway, so Bolsonaro left Brazil several days before the transitional handover ceremony, installing Lula in the presidency rather than appear to legitimize the leftist wing by showing up. He's going to be found guilty and so on. Don't get me wrong. Whomever orchestrated this and being an illegal act should be punished. But I would like to have an impartial investigation. Obviously, clear evidence brought forth and so on. And while you are at it, be as honest and impartial with everything, regardless of left, right, north, south, you know what I mean. So far this is the situation over there. I think that, I know that until the military picks a side, which is the other side than the government is stable, is right there. When the military turns towards the other direction, then Lula is toast. Unless the United States sends a rapid force to help Lula, like in wherever in South America as well. You remember the last rioters were in Peru, right? Remember that one? Yeah, when the U.S. ambassador came and spoke with the newly appointed guys over there, and then the riots came in the street and all that. Whatever, let's move back to Brazil. I think everything comes down, they get the bottom of it, and obviously the perpetrators will be brought to justice. But the way I know the world functions, I don't think that we're going to witness that, because I think things are already too nasty for a normal state of affairs. But let's hope, right? I mean, we saw what's going on here in the land of the free. How that January 6th thing was handled by the authorities. I don't want to insult the Brazilians, but I guess America is better, right? So if America had such a sturdy investigation, I'm assuming Brazil is going to have, I don't know, public... Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.